What's going on, Whisper Nation? Your boy, Johnny Game Time, is back for week 11, baby. Let's go. We're starting Sunday morning. It is November 20th, week 11 already. This is crazy. Your boy is filling in. I haven't been on the show in a minute, hot minute. Been going through family life, trying to raise a new daughter. Things have been going great. Hopefully, you Whisper Nation have been doing great. The boys have been holding it down here. Austin, Travis, and Donnie. So if you're new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you let us know where you're coming in from. We're gonna get you to. We got a couple weeks for the playoff run. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. If not, we're gonna get you in the playoffs. So just hang tight. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Like I said, your boy's filling in today. Normally, Big Travy's on this show, but yesterday was Big Travy's birthday. So shout out to Big Travy. Turned the big 3-2, I think, yesterday. I believe my memory serves me correctly. So shout out to him. And Donnie getting married today. So shout out to Donnie. Hopefully his wedding it will go well. It'll be great. But shout out to him. Hopefully he has a great time. He relaxes, enjoys the day. Hopefully his teams win, unless I'm playing him in some leagues. Then I hope he loses in those leagues. But other than that, Whisper Nation, how are you guys doing? Make sure you drop those questions in here. I'll be doing lineup questions all morning till kickoff here. So make sure you get those in. I'll be going through those. We've got weather today to talk about. Luckily, Buffalo Bills have moved their game to Detroit, so now it's a dome game, so that's good. Don't have to worry about like the 6 feet of snow happening in Buffalo, worrying about what that should do to fantasy players in those games. But wind should be a factor in several games today, so just, there'll be a little bit if you're giving me some, questions on who you should start. I might downgrade a player slightly because of the wind. Oftentimes it's kind of wild. We kind of overreact when we first get weather. Like it's crazy. We go to extremes. We're like, oh, weather's happening. We got wind, we got snow, we got rain. Get them out of your lineup. And then what you end up finding out is like, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it impacts the game for sure, but sometimes we tend to go a little overboard. So I might try to, reel that back in today. The hard one for me personally, I'll just be honest, is Darius Slayton. I love the matchup against the Detroit Lions, but there's a lot of wind in that. And so that affects really long down the field pass plays, and that's what he should excel in. So that has me some concern, but we'll talk through that. Shout out to you, Whisper Nation. We got people in the chat right now. Calvin saying the wife and kids have literally left to another city. And so he's got the whole day to himself. He doesn't even know what he's going to do. He's going to watch the football, and who else knows? Because, hey, time alone, time to yourself is few and far between when you start having kids and growing a family. And so he's got a whole day. That's just mind blowing right now. Oh, those days. What's going on, Jason? How you doing? Welcome into the show. Good morning to you. Kevin saying good morning. How are you doing, Kevin? Who would you start? Need 3 in a PPR. Mooney, DJ Moore, Rondale Moore, DeMonta Smith. Getting Mooney in my lineup. There are a little bit of weather concerns with that game. But I really love the matchup for Darnell Mooney. So I'm playing Darnell Mooney, and I'm personally playing Darnell Mooney in a few leagues. So definitely like that matchup. So I'm going Darnell Mooney. DJ Moore should get Baker Mayfield back. Now that connection hasn't been super fantastic, but good matchup. There is some win there. So I don't know who the quarterback is going. I live in Arizona. I follow this. I'm a huge Kyler fan. Been following this heavily. I don't know who is going to start. I don't think Kyler plays, but he's still questionable for the game. I don't know what they end up doing. It really depends on that hamstring, probably in warm-ups, things like that. So I don't know if I'm going to trust Rondale Moore. Also, is this a PPR? Yeah, it is PPR. So, and then Devonta Smith. So the three that I would ultimately go with are Mooney, DJ Moore, and Devonta Smith. Rondale Moore has tremendous upside, but again, there's a lot of question marks with this whole offense. Hopkins, he's a little banged up. Is he going to play? You'd certainly not want him to play if you have Rondale Moore. But again, how potent will this offense be against a really good defense for the 49ers? And it's not a great matchup for Rondale Moore. So I would go with Mooney, DJ Moore, and Devonta Smith as your three there. Unless you need major upside, then maybe Rondale Moore. But yeah, non-PPR, Swift, Rondale Moore, Pacheco. I'm actually going to go with Pacheco in this one. I am in a similar situation in one of my leagues in this. Well, I don't have Rondale Moore, but Swift and Pacheco, I'm to the point where I kind of have to see, because we've been hearing it over the last few weeks. Hey, DeAndre Swift's healthy. I'm a huge DeAndre Swift fan. Been on him for years now. And this is the first time that it's kind of gotten to the point where it's a little bit, you can't really tell what they're going to do, because they keep saying that they're going to give him more touches. And yet he comes away with six carries or 6 touches in games when they keep saying, oh, he's going to get an increased workload. Now, touchdowns have saved him. It's a decent matchup. He could get in the end zone. I'm not super banking on it. So in this case, I would go with Pacheco. We saw him get that full workload that we're just expecting 2 weeks ago when it first kind of came out, and then it didn't end up happening. But last week gets that full 16, or gets a nice 16 carries, a good matchup again tonight. Sneaky. I do think today he does get in the end zone for Pacheco. So I would do Pacheco starting in this one in a non-PPR. All right, Will asking, who should I start in a PPR flex spot? Elijah Mitchell, Claypool, or MBS? MBS, again, in a good matchup with everyone and their mother banged up. I do like Tony today over MBS. Claypool, somewhat interesting. I think he's more better for this offense than me trusting him starting in my lineup. I would go in a PPR flex spot, Elijah Mitchell. I think he's going to get the most workload. Cardinals give up a lot on the ground. They are using both CMC and Elijah Mitchell. That's what this offense does. They like to use multiple running backs. They don't want Jimmy G to have to throw the ball 25 plus times. Like, let's remember, they won a playoff game last year where Jimmy G threw the ball 8 times. Like, that's what they prefer. They would love to do that every game. Now, that's not possible because, teams will score more. Cardinals can put up more points, but I expect them to use both CMC and Elijah Moore. I like Elijah Moore. Now, if you need the upswing, Will, if you played, maybe you played against Watson and Hooper or something, where both those guys went off on Thursday, then I'd probably go with MVS because he has the higher ceiling. Whereas like Elijah Mitchell, I don't know if he could score a touchdown. He's probably going to be more of a yardage guy and getting like dump offs and things like that. So that's where I stand. I would go Elijah Mitchell, but if you need the upswing, I think MVS has the higher ceiling today with the matchup. Full PPR, choose 2, asked Calvin. Najee, Jamal Williams, and Donta Foreman. Listen, I got to stick with Donta Foreman. Dude is a dog, dude. Like, I'm not taking him out of my lineup. Like, this guy has proven going back to last year, hey, if he's a starting running back, he belongs in your starting roster because he's a RB2 minimum with RB1 upside each and every single week. So I would go Donta Foreman. For my other one, I would go Jamal Williams over Najee. Can't trust the workload for they're getting the rookie involved there a lot more than we thought he would be. And then Jamal Williams, like I was saying with Swift. Now I would like and I hope to see a bigger workload for Swift, but we're still not seeing it. So it indicates to me Swift is still not close to 100%. And so Jamal has been an RB1 and he gets that goal line work and Detroit in a potential shootout today, going to need to score points. So I would go with Jamal and Donta Foreman. Now the Giants defense is a little bit of a bend don't break, but again, Jamal has been producing each and every single week. So that's where Dolce. Yeah. So this is an interesting one. Talking about wind. There is a lot of wind in this matchup, but it could bode well for the tight end for the Broncos because Russell Wilson won't be taking as many deep shots. So, and without Jerry Jeudy, could look for D to just be a check down. So I do think he's a decent start today. This is one of those things when I first looked at it, I was like, oh no, like I don't trust him. Get him out of the lineup. Las Vegas, though, is a great matchup. They're like top 4 in fantasy points allowed to the tight end. So I'm going to trust what the analytics are saying. I'm not going to overreact to the weather. And I'm gonna say that D is a start today for Denver in a good matchup, despite weather being a little, ickish. All right, Calvin, full PPR. Oh, see, this one is tough. This one is really, really. All right, am I back? I'm back. Sorry, my internet not the greatest. Apologize for that. Okay, so this one, okay. Pitts has been dominating his target market share for his team over the last couple of weeks. He's just like he's been seeing he hasn't seen any fewer than 7 targets in the last 3 weeks, but he's only catching like 2 of them. So a decent matchup. Again, D has a great matchup. So for me, the safer floor is going to be going with D for Denver, excuse me. But Pitts obviously has a higher ceiling because he is electric. Like he is the focal point of Atlanta's offense. So you could definitely see him going off on a day like today where you don't really expect it, but they kind of need him. So for me, if you're in a close matchup, then I would go with D from Denver because I can guarantee you like his floor is a lot safer than Pitt's. We've seen Pitt's floor be basically nothing. So that's where I'm at. Based on your matchup, if your matchup looks to be close, then I'm playing D. If you need more of an upswing or you might have like a pretty handed victory, or it seems to be like you're projected to be up by a lot, then I would go with Pitts because he does have the higher ceiling. All right, Drake or Pacheco, PPR. This one is a little bit more difficult because I do like Pacheco and that matchup. I do like the workload, but I got to go with Drake on this one. As long as Drake is going to be that lead dog, that lead running back, he has produced for fantasy, especially when you're not really banking on him as your RB1 and he's more of your RB2. He has been very good. So I would go with Drake. Good matchup today as well against Carolina. And look at what we got here. We got ourselves a Whisper Nation. Look at that. Steven Drake's coming in with a super chat. You know what that means, Whisper Nation. We got to hit him with a Whisper Nation. Woo! Let's go. Haven't done that in a while. All right. Need 2 wide receiver, half PPR. Davis, Myers, Ayuk, Pittman. And need to take Andrews out of IR. Would you drop Eli Moore or Warren? Thanks. Okay, that's okay. So we've got I got to pick 2 wide receivers. I would play Pittman. Pittman's a tough start. It might be a little bit more difficult to talk you into playing Pittman today, but I would play. They're gonna Indy's gonna have to score, probably be lined up against Slayton. So I don't know on that one. The safest 2 are Ayuk and Jacoby. Those are the safest 2. Now, if you need upside in your matchup, then I would go with Gabe Davis and I would go with Jacoby. Those are the 2 that I would go with if you need a little bit more upswing in your matchup. I would also go with, as far as taking Andrews out of your IR, who would you drop? I'd rather have this one. I would drop Elijah Moore. I would drop Elijah Moore. I keep Warren just because I could definitely see like running backs. especially and because you have so many wide receivers, I would drop Elijah Moore. I do think Elijah Moore is a little bit more interesting coming off the bye, them saying they're going to put him in the slot, but because you have enough wide receivers and you're already kind of having a difficulty trying to pick each and every single week which ones to start, that's where I would go. I would save the running back because I could see them, sitting Najee pretty soon and just seeing what they have in Warren moving forward. He's already starting to take over some carries there. So hope that helps. Good luck in your matchup. Appreciate the super chat. And if anybody else hits me with that super chat, you get a Whisper Nation Woo as well as your question answered immediately. So appreciate that. Steven, keeping the lights on around here. Appreciate that. Okay, let me find out where I was here, and I'll do some more. I was going pretty deep in some of these. Okay, Foreman or Gibson? I'm going Foreman, although I do think Gibson has a good day. He has a good matchup. I do think he gets in the end zone, but Foreman has a better workload than Gibson. I do think that Robinson also has a good he's a good flex play as well today, considering they're going against Houston. Who would I start? PPR, Chubbs or Jacobs? You can't sit Chubb, man. You can't sit it. Good problem to have though. Josh Jacobs and Chubb, both good running backs this year, but I would play Chubb. I would sit Jacobs. Fantasy Jesus, my boy, happy birthday. What are you doing? You're supposed to be sleeping. Oh, the professor. What up, people? What up, Professor? Professor Ron in the house. Morning. Should I play Hopkins and add AJ Green as insurance, or should I risk it and sit Hopkins? Thank you. I think Hopkins will end up playing. To be honest with you, if you ask me right now, I think Hopkins plays and Kyler sits. But there is a reality where Kyler could play and Hopkins could sit. But I don't, knowing Hopkins and how he just is as a human, this kind of goes for part, like he doesn't practice, like he gets these like injuries, nagging injuries, and then doesn't practice, but ends up suiting. Like he always plays up until recently. He's always played. So I do think Hopkins plays. Adding AJ Green as insurance is yeah, that's a solid play, especially if he doesn't play and you've got Colt McCoy as the backup or playing. We've seen him obviously last week. He trusted AJ and threw it up to him. So where is Jay? I don't know. Still waiting. He's hiding. That's what Travis said. Oh, he's playing him. Professor's playing him this week. That's probably why he's out of here. He's not. He's nervous, dude. Talk about devs. Oh my gosh, my listener league team is horrendous. It is so bad. I am not doing. I've won one game all season. It was my first game of the year. Also, giant seats around them that blocks them. There are also giant seats around them that block some of the wind. Oh, got it. Okay. Sure. Oh, yeah. Okay. See, this is why. Let's go. Big Travis saying, broke out. You be jealous. We were just getting ready to go watch Broncos country. Oh, yeah, that's right. Big Travis also going to the game. He is going to this Broncos game. Let's ride. Broncos country. What up? Good morning. How we doing? Gotta get Big Travie just coming through. All right, Dawn. It's Scott. Oh, Scott using an undercover alias, using Dawn's account. I don't know. This is Caps was on. All right, get ready for what is Scott? What are you trying to say here? All right, Big Travie asking Mooney, Tony, Devonta Smith, start two. I went. Let me know. Ooh, okay. So this is a little bit difficult because I do like Mooney today. Mooney is the upswing though. So fantasy football, if you're going off of like strategy, the better. I'm back. Your boy cut out. They didn't like the answer. The stream didn't like me saying to going Mooney, but I would go Mooney and Tony. Those are the two. I got to start Tony. I got to stay in the Flames. This is our first Tony question, by the way. That's kind of wild. But I'm playing Tony. He's got up, and I'm playing Mooney. Start one, asked Brandon. Mike Williams, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Boyd, or Michael Pittman. I'm starting Mike BMW. If you are nervous or if this is a must win, I probably am going Tyler Boyd. I think he has the safest floor. But if you like, I like Mike Williams. I think he'll be back today. I think Herbert will get a huge uptick having back his wide receivers, and you're 100%. So, or close to it. So I would play Mike Williams. Andre asking, start one wide receiver and one flex, half PPR. D-Hop, Mike Will, Najee, Swift. I would go I'm going D-Hop and Mike Williams in these 2K. Also coming off, so it's like, can you super that? I understand if you want to get. I would play Swift over Najee today. If you don't, and you're like, hey, I'd rather, like, we know Swift is going to play. So if you want to go D-Hop and Swift, it's a big game. We got to win it. And so I think Hop goes. So I feel confident in waiting. I know it's a big risk because it's a Monday night game, but again, I think he goes. And then I would go with Mike Williams. If you don't like that, if it's too much risk for you, then I would pivot to Swift. He does have a good matchup. He could get in the end zone. Again, touchdowns are a little bit hard to predict, but he has been staying afloat with these touchdowns. Like Swift has been able to keep us alive by getting in the end zone once. How about Rondale Moore or Sutton? See, this one is hard for me because you got the wind. Sutton, in theory, has a great matchup. He had the best game of his entire year against the Raiders earlier this season. Russ's best game was against the Raiders this earlier season, and the Raiders are like a dumpster fire. So stats and analytics would say go with Sutton. He's going to get a bigger target share. There is some concern with the wind, so that could maybe cap his like having a mega bounce day. But with Rondale Moore, it's a little bit more risky. Again, so many questions right now. How much is the rookie tight end going to be involved? Is Hop playing? I expect this to be, again, a Colt McCoy game. And so, like they talk about getting the ball out quick. I do think James Conner is relied on. I think he's fully healthy again. That's another thing. If you haven't passed your trade deadline yet, I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, should I go try to acquire James Conner? Based on what I've heard in interviews from Keim and from Kingsbury and the fact they just cut Eno Benjamin, there was a tisk and like there was reason behind it, but I also think they felt confident that James Conner was close to 100% this season to keep him around. So, Ron, I would go Sutton. Long story short, Sutton this week. Yeah, so Travis will be at the game. Pacheco or go Swift and cross your fingers. I would go Pacheco. That's where I'd go. I think the workload is a little bit more secure for Pacheco. I think the matchup is really good and favors itself for Pacheco. I think he gets his first touchdown of the year today. But with that said, I mean, I understand if you want to go Swift because Swift's upside is probably a lot higher. His ceiling is a lot higher if they do end up giving him that workload that they've been talking about for a while now. Chad asking Devonta Smith or Tony. I'm playing Tony. Like Smith has a solid matchup today. And he's been playing well. But I'm staying in the Flames with Tony, especially with everyone banged up. Like these are Tony has the ability to be a top 10 wide receiver this week. So I'm playing Tony, I think, and his upside is just as good as any wide receiver. Wow, he's testing me. No, dude, I give straight up fantasy advice. I don't homer my picks. I don't do that. Maybe sometimes, but no, I'll be honest. I'll tell you straight up. I'll be like, hey, this is homer pick year. This is why I'm deciding that. I wouldn't just pick it like that. All right. Play Allen. I don't know what other Allen you're asking about, unless I missed it. But we also got, he's asking Andrews or Schultz. Ooh. This one's a little bit tough. Again, Andrews, how much can you trust the workload? I think in this case, I would go Schultz. I think Schultz, we've seen him over the last few weeks with Dak. He's the safety blanket. And I'm going to stay in the Flames with Schultz, especially with Andrews a little bit banged up, can't guarantee, and likely playing well. You could see, and they've done that before in Baltimore. It's not unheard of where they split the tight end and share, and especially if Andrews is banged up and they feel more comfortable, because they need Andrews longer term. But to Ron's point, like it's like one of those, like, he's a stud. You start your studs. I totally get it if you want to go, but I'm also playing Schultz in multiple leagues. He's a top 5 tight end for me this week. Komet or Njoku or PPR. Can I go or PPR? I'll take PPR. No, I'm going Komet. I would go Komet. Stay in the Flames with Komet. He's arrived, baby. Get on that field type train. Yeah, I know. Najee. Crazy, huh? Hersher and Njoku, who is active. I would go. See, this one is tough. You got to hit me with these super tough one. I mean, here, let's get Pitt. I'd probably go Hurst over Njoku. It's a better matchup against Pittsburgh and no Chase. That's probably where I'd go. Oh, yeah, dude. Let's go. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you can hit that like button for your boy or subscribe, you won't. Ron saying he wants Njoku. I'm concerned. I mean, Buffalo. Wow, wait, their safety is out, isn't he? And they got to score points. I can understand if you want to go Njoku. Hurst is the deeper dart throw. It might be getting a little too cute. I fully am aware of that. It might be getting a little too cute. Yeah, go Njoku. You guys talked me into it. Go Njoku over Hurst. It's a little too cute to go Hurst. But I would not go Njoku over Komet. That I would definitely not do that. You got to stay in the Flames with Komet, dude. Yeah. Dangerous. High ankle sprain. That's right. Yeah, like that's the thing. Yeah, there is no snow because the game got moved. The game got moved to Denver. So that's the one thing, is like it is in a dome, but the high ankle sprain is concerning. So the same question. Yeah, I'm going Komet. You got to stay in the Flames with it. Like, this is exactly like the adding of when they traded for Claypool. Like, that was exactly what that offense needed to really open up that the tight end. And we were saying all along, I mean, granted, we were wrong in the beginning, but we were saying, Cole Kmet is a top, like one of those tight ends that could jump. And now at the end of the season, he still has the potential, because tight ends don't score that many points, to still become a top 5 tight end, because last few weeks he's just been going nuclear. But I'm staying in the Flames with him. Like, Fields and him are starting to get a chemistry, especially in the red area. So I'm staying in the Flames with Kmet. All right. We got Stefan asking, trade question, full PPR, offering me DK Metcalf for Jeff Wilson. My roster, I have Eckler, Barkley, Cordero Patterson, Jeff Wilson, and Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Gabe, Lazard, Rondale. Yeah, I would do this deal because you're going to be starting on most weeks Eckler, Barkley, and Patterson. And then if Patterson is not in your lineup, like Mike Evans, Mike Williams, and DK is a good trio of wide receivers to have. So I would make that best deal. And in a PPR, and we've seen Sling Rock, Gino just getting it done. All right. This is okay. So we got, oh, right. We did see, here's the thing. Gibson is also used, though. He'll be used between the tackles as well. Robinson should have a good game, but Gibson with McKissick now on IR, it's like that's what this is needed. Like that, unfortunate to say, but that's what is needed to kind of unlock Gibson and put him in that right position. Like we've all been saying all along, like he should be the pass catching running back. So in a PPR, I don't know if it was a standard. I thought he said PPR, but even in standard, I think Gibson can score today. All right. We have Nemo, Dicker the kicker in a dome, or Folk. I would go Dicker the kicker. Like you talked about those 15-mile-an-hour winds. Now, granted, I'm not a kicker. I don't know how much that affected. It seems like it would affect it a lot. Folk has a lot of experience kicking in wind and things like that, but I would go, especially with the Chargers getting their weapons potentially back for this game, I would go in that direction. And he's playing well too. PPR, Hurst, Moreo, or Dolch. Dolchich. I think I said that right. Victor, I'm going with Dolchich. D from Denver. Good matchup against the Raiders. Raiders allowing the fourth most fantasy points, 2 tight ends. So it's a good matchup this week. And with the wins potentially being a problem, you could see Russell doing a lot more dump offs. All right. We got Cheddarhead asking Antonio Gibson, Deontay Johnson, Najee, or Curtis Samuel. I have to start one full PPR. Gibson for me, and the 3. Curtis Samuel, interesting, especially with McKinnon. They've been liking using him in that Debo role. It is against Houston, which is a nice matchup. So, but I think it's a little bit more of a cute play than I think Gibson is a safer play, and I think he has a lot of upside. Yeah, I agree. There should be a few more targets heading to Smith's in Smith's way. But the other thing is Roger. Oh wait, no, I don't think Rogers plays on there anymore. See who. It's a good point to bring up. The backup. Who is the backup tight end for? Oh, that was Stoll. Yeah, I would go. I do agree though. Smith will get a bigger bump. Listener league question from Calvin. Whoops. Justin Watson or Pacheco? I'm going Pacheco. I do think Justin Watson is a nice sneaky snart this week if you are in desperate mode, but I would play Pacheco over Watson. Especially because our league gets you get an extra half a point or something like that for first downs. So, and there's some bonus points in there. So I would go in that route. We have Manuel asking Ramondre Stevenson or Isaiah Pacheco in standard league. Thank you. Oh, this one's a real okay. So I do think Stevenson is a good play today. I do think he scores. So I would probably go with Stevenson over Pacheco in this situation. But it's close. Like I said, I do think Pacheco also scores his first touchdown of the game or of the year today. But I'm going to go with Ramondre in this question. Yeah. Don't get cute, like Ronald said. Sometimes getting cute helps, though, and makes you feel more pretty, right? Just kidding. Okay. Got a lot of, let's see, Smith is the guy today in Philly. All metrics for Brown against zone are wide receiver 3 levels. Colts run almost 70%. Hope that with Gilmore shadowing. Yeah. Listen, I think Smith, but the other thing is like the Colts defense is a little bit better than we think as well. Like the Colts defense is pretty solid, like as a whole. But I just think Tony has the higher upside over Smith today. That's just me. Would you drop CEH? Asked Chad for Pacheco. I would, yes. I have done this exact thing in multiple leagues. So I'm not just I think CH at this point, like for me, CH is a roster, like he just burns a roster spot because they're completely phasing him out. We know he's not a good running back at this point. Like the writing's on the wall. Like the metrics are showing like he was out producing his touches. I know my boy Big Travie won't want to hear this part, but like he was just out producing early on in the season. Then now he's like phased out. So I think if you drop CEH, I think it's safe. And you also like someone's going to pick him up because he's a name, and he's still, because he had such an early season bump, he's still like running back 25 or something like he's still an RB2 on the season. So someone will pick him up, but it's fine because it's like a roster burn. Like they're just burning a roster spot, in my opinion. So I think it's a good move. All right, Professor saying not to bench Smith. Play him. I'm just like he has a safer floor than Tony, but I think Tony has the higher ceiling than Smith. Staying in the flames with Tony. But I'll tip my hat to you. If Smith ends up having like 3 tutties, Ron, I'll tip my cap to you. Nemo saying happy birthday, Big Travie. Enjoy your Let's Ride experience. Broncos country, let's ride. I think he's on his way out there right now. I wonder if they're tailgating. Do I play 3 wide receivers this week or 3 running backs this week? For wide receivers, I have Adams, Higgins, Ayuk, and Amon. For running backs, I have Zeke, Sanders, Drake, and Kamara. Oh, I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing Drake, Kamara. Ooh. I do like Amon playing this week. I like the matchup, but I don't know if I think I'm playing Sanders over Amon this week. Especially with like, yeah, I would play 3 running backs. All right, let's see. Back to Andrews asks Schultz question. Have Pacheco and flex. Andrews there over Pacheco. Again, no, I'm not. No, I would play Pacheco. I think that Andrews is more of a gamble today. I think he'll be out there. I think he'll play. He might catch some passes, but I think likely will also share a role, and it could limit Mark Andrews' upside. And again, the matchup is really nice for Pacheco. Like I think it could be his coming out party. Like it really could. I mean, some could technically say last week because he got 16 carries, but I think like he's going to get the carries today, and he's going to also score, which will give him a good fantasy day. Should I start Kyle Pitts or Foster Moreau? I would go. In this case, I would go Kyle Pitts. I wouldn't go. Yeah. Wait. Professor Moreo, he's had like no upside, and it's not the greatest matchup against Denver. Why? Like, hold on. They've given up 3 touchdowns on the season. All season. They've only given up 48 receptions, which is, well, I guess that is like top 10. But I'm not like, I'm going Kyle Pitts over Moreo. All right, let's see. I think Rush is going to get frustrated and start running and throwing well. Let's hope. I hope he does that. Play Keenan Allen. I am Ron Burgundy. Depends on who you have, Scott. But I do think that if I'd play him depending on what you have, because I think I think he plays tonight, and if he plays, like based on how cautious they've been with him, they're not going to throw him out if he's not ready, especially because he had a setback already. So I really expect them to be super cautious and not let him play unless he's fully ready. So if he's out there, I'm playing him. 1 running back, 2 flex. Swift, B-Rob, Pacheco, A-Rob, Nico Collins, PPR. Okay. So 3 total players. I would play B-Rob. I would play Pacheco. I would play Swift as my third because he will get dump offs. That's the one thing we have seen. And then if they do open it like in a PPR league, I would play Swift as that third running back. But B-Rob and Pacheco should have big games. It's McKinnon. Oh, I would go Watson in that case. I would go Watson over McKinnon. Although McKinnon also has a nice matchup because of the running back thing. But again, he is getting that passing down work, and I do expect them to be up. So I would go Justin Watson. The professor saying CH is a good running back, just not an Andy Reid running back. Andy Reid can make any running back good. So that's the problem. If he's not a good Andy Reid running back, that's your issue. Although I would see if he goes to like a 49ers style offense, West Coast, and if he might be able to play in that kind of system, actually. Yeah, that might be better. All right, Big Travis saying, I'm going Tony Higgins, and he's benching Mooney. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is where this whole thing. Okay, I understand where you go. Okay. I'm good with this. If I didn't realize it was between Devonta Smith and Mooney was like the big. I'm okay with. I do think Mooney has analytically Mooney has a great matchup today. But again, I understand based on the other. If you're going Tony is the upswing. So going with Devonta Smith makes more sense in this case, according to your roster base. Because he has a good matchup. You don't need two dart throws in your matchup, like in my opinion. Would you do Likely over Henry? No, I'd probably play Henry over Likely just because, again, Mark Andrews is healthy. I not expecting a major game from him. They'll probably split. So you're talking about a tight end getting split time. I know Henry does also split with Jonnu, but we at least seen that chemistry. And then in the red area, we know that Henry is a big focal point there. So, Oh, I'm worried. Professor Ron said, I'm worried the Bears are going to turn back into a pumpkin. They definitely are in a fantasy playoffs when they play the Eagles and Bills. I don't know. These quarterbacks, I'm telling you, when they have that Konami code and you're able to do the things that Fields can do, it makes that floor super safe. So it's even worth it, even if they turn into somewhat plumpkins. But I don't think that. I think Fields is the real deal. I've been saying that all offseason. Big Travis saying, I think Andrews is fine. He had nearly 25 days off. Well, he's about to have 32, dude. I'm just kidding. He'll play some today. Who for in my flex? Antonio Gibson, Jamal Williams, or James Conner? Oh, this one's tough. Juan, this is a tough one. Difficult matchup for James Conner, but I like his workload over the other two because he's going to be, it's just him. So I'd probably go James Conner. But I do like Gibson. I understand why you're in a pickle here because Gibson, good matchup. Jamal, good matchup. Probably will see the end zone. But I think James Conner has the highest ceiling out of all these. Big Travie asking snickerdoodle or sugar cookies. Definitely snickerdoodle, although they're basically kind of like the sea, aren't they? But snickerdoodles taste way better, way better than sugar cookies. All right. Juan asking again for, okay, so this time, who for his wide receiver 1 and 2? This will click here. I got Rondale Moore, Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, Tyler Boyd, Carter. Well, Jerry Jeudy is out. So I'm playing Mike Williams. And I wonder, is it DeAndre Hopkins? Oh, no. Oh, it's Carter for the Chargers. Yeah, in this case, I'm going Mike Williams. I would go either Rondale. I don't typically like to go with pair 2 wide receivers like that because they're both kind of upswing plays this week. So if you wanted to go with Mike Williams and Tyler Boyd, I think that's a little bit safer. But I think the ultimate ceiling, if you want to try to reach it, would be playing Mike Williams and Rondale Moore. Because I think that those two, Carter has been very good. If we knew that Williams and Allen were not playing, or if we knew that Allen was not playing, I'd have more confidence of playing Carter tonight. But with them expected back, I would go with Mike Williams and Rondale Moore. I love this. Big Travis saying Tigers hate pepper. They love cinnamon. It's a good question, or good tidbit. Oh no. I'm sorry. My internet is up. So this whole time it looks like a kung fu movie this whole time. And now I'm just getting it after an hour of being live. Unbelievable. Where are my peeps at? All right, hold on. Keg asking Michael Carter, Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, or Jacoby Myers. If this is, I'm going Mike Williams. Mike Williams. Monty or Trevor asking Monty or Drake. I'm going Drake, even though I do think Monty has a good game. And all day, dude, me and Professor have been back and forth. But I understand there is no Herbert, but they do like that rookie, so I expect him to get some looks as well. But Drake, man, Drake has just been absolutely killing it. It's hard for you not to play Drake against Carolina. I want to see. Hold on. Let me look up Atlanta, how many fantasy points they've been given to running backs. Struggle bus here. Yeah. See, I like what. Yeah, Scott has it. Scott talking here. Internet. Yeah, we getting. Professor, you can't be Monty. Yeah, the reason Monty had this late boost was because he was injured during the middle of the season. And then came back, and then he was healthy, and they gave him a ton of carries. Hello? Am I back? Am I back? Here we go. Am I back? All right. Wow. There was a ton of questions that came in. All right. Sorry about that. My internet kind of froze up for a second. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully, I'm not a kung fu movie anymore. That would be, yeah. I even with Herbert out, like I would go the other direction there. I would go with Drake. I think he's a good matchup. He's been killing it. So that's where I would go. Super CNB Challengers. What's up? Yo, sit one. Pittman, Tony, Boyd, Olave, PPR. I would sit Pittman. He's going against Slay. Darius Slay for the Eagles. And so don't like that. Two. Pick two. Mike Williams, Pickens, Donovan People Jones, or Palmer, PPR. Mike Williams, and I'm going DPJ. Just because he's got the higher upside, lower floor. But those are the two I would go. And then if Mike Williams ends up like not going, then you have that pivot to Palmer. But I would sit Palmer with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams expected back. All right, we got Kenny asking Devonta Smith or Pickens. I'm starting AJ Brown already. I can we really like. I mean, Devonta Smith in a nice spot. I would probably play Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. I know it's really risky. It doesn't always bode well playing two guys in the same game, but the Eagles' offense and Smith is in a good place, and you're not benching Pickens for AJ Brown. So, yeah, but and then Pacheco or Drake PPR. I would go Drake over Pacheco in this case. But I do love me some Pacheco today. Same for Taylor. Started a couple weeks ago and got him the cheat in about 10% of the leagues. Well, yeah, because he was injured. No, I would sit Pittman. I've agreed, Professor. Okay, good. Big Travis saying I'm back. All right, good. All right, looking for flex play here, asks Juice. Do I play 3 wide receivers this week or 3? Oh, looking. Oh wait, no, he's asking looking for a flex play. I would play Sanders in your flex. But I understand if you want to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown over Higgins or like as your third, especially if it's a PPR league, then I understand that. But I would probably go with Sanders over Amon, just because weather in that game right now, a little concerning. All right, let's see. Travis saying it is a big Monty week. I do think Monty is a good play, but I just don't think his upside is as much as Drake's. Let's see. Mooney or Drake? half point PPR. I would go Drake. Mooney is in a very good spot, a blow up spot. Like, don't be surprised if you catch like a 50-yard tutty or has a good game because he's in a good spot. But in this case, like, stay in the flames with Drake. You know that workload. It's a solid matchup. So that's where I'd go. Matt asking, trade D-Hop and Lockett for Kelsey and Gabe Davis. Full PPR, start 2. My other receivers are Diggs, Higgins, and Pickens. Who's your tight end? That's Matt. Let me know who your tight end is. Initially, I'd probably say no, I wouldn't do this deal. Just because, I mean, having Diggs, Higgins, and Hopkins is fantastic. Like, I understand, obviously, Kelsey, great piece. One of the best, or the best tight end, second best tight end. But it depends on who you're. Oh, he said he has Tyler Higbee. See, but with Higbee, with Cooper Kupp now out, Higbee should see even more targets. So, and this is a full PPR. So no, I wouldn't do this deal. I think you're giving up too much. I think you're giving up too much. But again, if you're, that would be the upside play each week is, yeah. Well, also you have Diggs, so I don't know that you would want to play. Again, it's a good offense, Diggs and Gabe Davis, though. Like, having to trust that or rely on that is probably not where I'd go. I would trust it. I would stay with Higbee. Like, he's seeing a good amount of targets. He's going to continue to see that, especially with Cooper Kupp out. So I would stay with that. Unless you can get more, like a better wide receiver than Gabe Davis or like a running back thrown in there, then yeah. But and then if you said start 2, I would start Diggs and Higgins. Appreciate the question, Matt. Mooney or Drake? Oh yeah, I said Drake on that one. Tony or Smith, full PPR. So we've been talking about this one all day in the chat. Everyone, Whisper Nation loves Devonta Smith in a big blow up game. Tony, obviously, we know what, like, sky is the ceiling for him. You know, it's like, this dude is super talented. They're getting him involved. Everybody is out basically for Kansas City that basically is standing in his way of having another big game. But Devonta Smith in a nice blow up spot. So I probably go Devonta Smith in this case, and not get cute with playing Tony. But I do think Tony's going to have another good game. Nice. All right. We got about 30 or 27 minutes till kickoff here, Whisper Nation. Let me know if we've gotten through all the questions. If you have any more questions, gladly answer them. If not, all good too. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning. If you haven't done already, make sure you hit that like button on this video. It really helps our channel grow, a small channel like this. So hitting that thumbs up really, really helps get the word out. Hey, these guys actually have some decent content. Their show is not all the way terrible. No, I'm just kidding. When I'm not on here. I appreciate you, Big Travie. Yep. I think the internet is trying to be like, all right, you should end this show. It's bad enough. All right. I am going to log off here, Whisper Nation. I hope that you guys... We have sold fantasy, Jesus. Yeah, you did, actually. You did. Hey, that's why Whisper Nation's the greatest, because we talk through these things. We don't just hey, play with this. Like, we literally will have conversations. We'll talk through. We'll do strategy. We try to teach you guys the game, try to think differently than, how they used to play. So if that sounds awesome to you and you're stumbling across this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to that 2,500 subs. Make sure you're liked and subscribed on all the platforms. Make sure you're sticking with us throughout the season. Got that final playoff push. We're going to get you into the playoffs, win a championship, hopefully. We got content year round, so make sure you stick around. Best balls, we'll touch into the best ball that we've been doing through the offseason. We got coming down to some stuff, so we'll give you guys how those are panning out as well. Last one, Cooper, Pittman, Keenan. Got to sit one. I would sit Pittman out of those three. Hey, man, Keenan Allen or Allen Robinson? CPAT or Foreman? Thanks. I would go Keenan Allen over Allen Robinson. I would go... Ooh, it's tough to sit Cordero. I can't believe I'm saying this, though, but I would sit Foreman. Oh, breaking news. Hollywood out for Monday Night Football. So don't get him out of your lineup. Don't play him. But I do think that this could mean that Hopkins plays. But it also bodes well for the tight end. So now Moore or Sutton. I'm still going Sutton. I still think Sutton sees at least 11 targets today. I don't think Rondale Moore will get that many. I think he'll maybe see 6. But I've been kind of holding out hope for Sutton all year or all season. So I can understand if you want to go with Rondale Moore because he has higher upside. But yeah, McBride. Pick him up. You won't. Yeah, McBride is the tight end for the Cardinals, rookie. They're not exactly sure how much. They're saying he should fill in for Ertz. Like, this is why they drafted him, because he was their best player available. That's what Steve Keim said in the draft. So that's why they grabbed him. It's a good thing they did. But we'll see. I don't know if they are going to trust him to the level they trusted Ertz. And they might keep him in to block a little bit more because our offensive line is very banged up. But he's a good waiver wire ad. If you go through, if you hold your guy, all of the games played today, and let's say you have a player that, doesn't play well. He's like one of those fringe, like could be on the waiver wire. And then you need a tight end, going and stashing a guy like McBride and seeing what he just does. It's a free waiver wire pickup basically after today's game. So make sure as a strategy move, you're doing that. All right, Whisper Nation. Wish you all the best of luck. Oh, Josh Jacobs inactive today. Oh, interesting. Ron Jeremy or John Holmes? John Holmes. I mean, you could go with Ron Jeremy because he's good, but John Holmes. All right. That does it for me. What? I don't know about that. I'm just kidding. Ron Jeremy is the answer? Okay. Yes. All right, Whisper Nation. You guys have a great week 11. Hopefully you bring home the W. You will bring home the W. I'm just going to say that now. Best of luck to everyone. Hopefully you have a great Sunday. You will have a great Sunday. For your boy, Johnny Game Time Hicks, for Big Travie, Austin Steer, Donnie, we're Fantasy Whispers. Good luck, Whisper Nation. See you tomorrow. Peace out.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these videos.